Welcome to People Working Together, the Jamestown Centennial Celebration. A recap of the events held commemorating Jamestown's 100th birthday, 1886 to 1986. Jamestown, New York, the home of over 36,000 people. And now, in 1986, this corner of southwestern New York State is 100 years old. 100 years of industry, agriculture, education, and people. Generations born and raised in this largest city in Chautauqua County. This program will look at what the people of Jamestown did to commemorate their 100th birthday. The Centennial Celebration Committee sponsored a number of events throughout the year to remember this special time, specifically for the enjoyment of its residents. The Centennial Celebration Committee was a mixture of businessmen, executives, and even homemakers whose job was to meet the challenge head-on, design, coordinate, and execute special events to revolve around the Centennial theme. The idea was to launch the first event, literally, in April. With cool weather still in the background, a kickoff celebration was held at Tracy Plaza in downtown Jamestown. City Council President Lou Lombardo addressed the crowd at Tracy Plaza with a proclamation from Mayor Steve Carlson.
Whereas Jamestown is celebrating her centennial year in 1986, being officially incorporated as a city on March 31st, 1886, and whereas this is a city rich in historical background, and we wish to preserve the memories of the past and make them a part of the living present for all of us. And whereas the local school district, the PTAs, the PTOs, the elementary schools, the factories, and the city government have banded together to organize a project to commemorate and celebrate this important centennial moment in history. And whereas 10,000 red, white, and blue balloons containing the names and addresses of all elementary students in Jamestown will be released simultaneously at Tracy Plaza and all elementary schools in Jamestown at 1 o'clock Tuesday, April 15th, in honor of our centennial. Now, therefore, I, Stephen B. Carlson, Mayor of the City of Jamestown, do hereby proclaim April 15th, 1986, as Centennial Balloon Liftoff Day in the City of Jamestown. And I urge all of our citizens to reflect upon the history of our community and to enjoy the balloon liftoff as we kick off our centennial year celebration. I would also like to personally add my encouragement to all of the community and the outlying districts to participate in as many of the activities as possible. The Centennial Committee has been meeting for the last 6 months now, trying to plan activities which will be interesting to all of us, and I encourage you all to attend. I would also like to thank Chuck Hyduk and the Jamestown Fire Department for all of their participation in this particular event. And so,
With the balloons on their merry way, we talked to Bob Golder, who organized the ham radio link-up for the simultaneous release of the balloons at the different school buildings.
Went fantastic. A great deal of communication skills from the radio amateur group, I have to say. We had people that came as far away as Randolph and Cherry Creek and from Warren, Pennsylvania. A couple of our operators came up to assist in it. It's a very widespread type of operation.
We also caught up with City Council President Lou Lombardo, who discussed an upcoming event in the celebration.
I want to really encourage people to participate in the Brothers of the Brush program. This is where gentlemen can, if they choose, grow a beard, buy one of these buttons, form a chapter, challenge other chapters, to do certain things and participate. Now, if you can't, if you can't grow a beard, or if you're for some reason not able to, you have a Brother of the Brush shaving permit. You could still purchase one of these, form a chapter, and just have a lot of fun celebrating the Centennial.
Betty Jo Selgano, chairperson of the decorating committee for the Centennial, summed up everyone's feelings about the day's events.
Are you pleased with the way it went out?
Oh, I thought it was terrific, and I was extremely pleased with the fact that when our balloons left, we turned and we could see the school's balloons coming from some of the other schools, and it was just a great effect. I thought it was terrific, and a lot of work, but a lot of help. Everybody helped.
The celebration committee then proceeded to move into a central location in downtown Jamestown, a building which formerly housed a children's clothing store. It was used for a variety of purposes, such as displaying souvenirs and distributing information about the Centennial. A ribbon cutting from Mayor Steve Carlson made it official. The next big event on the list was really special. Entitled Window on the World, Maggie Downey filed this report.
It was an experiment of sorts, the first ever ethnic festival in Jamestown. It took place in the Porter Avenue Armory and was attended by over 2,000 people in 2 days. Every nationality in the community was represented. Event was the brainchild of the Jamestown Business and Professional Women's Club, coordinators Kathy Service and Pat Holquist.
Well, we thought we would probably have a good turnout. We were at least hoping for it, but this has really made us so happy. So all our hard work, it's made it worthwhile.
And where are the proceeds going again?
The proceeds are going to our scholarship fund and for the betterment of women.
This going to be an annual thing?
Yes, we do plan to make this an annual event.
Wait a minute, let's get this organized first.
Now you get all the bugs out this year, right? So you're going to be ready to fly.
In only a day and a half, we've learned a lot, because this is the first time this has been done before, and we've learned a lot already in a day and a half, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more.
The children were the important ones in attendance, for they are learning of their heritage and how to preserve it.
Detail.
Costumes were the order of the day, and the kids went all out. Their efforts were paraded before a judging panel, and the winners were chosen. Celebration of all the people that make Jamestown what it is. Everybody ate, drank, danced, and made merry. The Jamestown Ethnic Festival, hopefully only the first.
In order for the residents of the community to really get the feeling that their city was 100 years old, a city council meeting from 1886 was pulled from the archives and recreated in the present council chambers at City Hall. Local actors portrayed former city fathers and gave the audience a little taste of life in the 19th century.
We are now about to transfer control of municipal affairs from the old to the new government. Clerk Peterson, would you at this time please read the names from our recent selection of those elected to office?
Yes. The results of the voting, Oscar Price received 1,702 votes, Noah Goki, 2 votes, Robert Marvin, 2 votes, Serenus Clark, 2 votes. There was a scattered voting of 11 ballots. Oscar Price is declared elected. And other results for city clerk, I was elected. Treasurer was Henry Rappole. The police justice, Henry Yates. Aldermen in the first ward were John Wicks and Adam Ports. In the second ward, William T. Bradshaw and Theodore E. Grandin. In the third ward, Charles F. Hedman and James S. Ellis. In the fourth ward, Conrad A. Holt and Elias F. Carpenter. In the fifth ward, Edward R. Booty and Hiram S. Hall.
The month of June was full of Centennial activities. Some were traditional and some not so traditional. Felix Mira filed this report on one not so traditional.
As part of the Centennial celebration, a luncheon and fashion show was held in the Crystal Ballroom of the Hotel Jamestown. Not your normal fashion show, however. This show included fashions from our past 100 years. The models wore clothing supplied by the Blue Lady, Candy's Collectibles, and Bigelow's.
Lois joins us in a dressing gown which truly harks back into Jamestown's history. Although the gown was worn in a 1956 movie, it's a throwback to the 30s style. In case you hadn't guessed, this gown was worn by none other than that red-headed Spitfire of stage and screen, whose roots are right here in Jamestown area, Lucille Ball. She wore that, yes. And the movie, if you remember, was right here in Jamestown when they premiered. She was here with Desi Arnaz. It was a terribly, terrible was set up. Don't go too fast on it, because I just want to and there were Lucy and Desi up in front of the Palace Theater. The whole platform, there was a parade, and Desi was drinking.
After making the trip through time, the audience was given a look into the future as 3 budding ballerinas made their public debut. Fond memories, and for others it was a look into the distant past. And for everyone, a good time and a great way to celebrate the Centennial.
One of the more traditional functions held this year was the annual Soapbox Derby at Bergman Park on Baker Street Extension. Let's watch as the final race begins.
Hey, good luck.
Seconds, less than half a second.
Tony Purpura shaking the hands of Adam Rickerson and Luther Haga on their final and last run of the day here at the Jamestown Second Annual Soapbox Derby. Steve Hagelin consulting on the phone right now, the official race starter. The phone is hung up. He's counting down, ready to start off the race. 2, and they're off. The final run of the day.
There they go. Car number 14, unsponsored, driver Adam Rickerson. Car number 2, Fairbank Farms, Luther Haga at the controls.
Luther.
Looks like they're pretty close.
Come on, Luther! They're getting a side view of Luther Haga, the father of Luther Jr., driving the car sponsored by Fairbank Farms It's a still shot.
During the finish line, the flag is up.
He's still waiting for the decision. The flag is up right now. Rickerson unofficially at this point. All right, Rickerson is the champ.
The crowd behind me, Adam Rickerson.
There's the father.
Time of 34.
Let's get on over here.
4.74 seconds for a time differential of 0.598 seconds. That means that Adam Rickerson, due to a time differential of 0.116 seconds, is our overall winner. Luther Hagen in second place.
Ron, come on over here. A word on Group W cable. Well, on the road to Akron. On the road. All right, Ron. Congratulations. You know, I was looking at Luther Hagen's father, and I think he was more tense than you were. You were sort of off on the sideline just saying, well, if he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And I saw you, just put your hands up in the air and said, well, that's it.
You've got good, fast cars when you get to the end, and it's up to how well the kids drive, and it's all up to the kids. And I'm a wreck, but what the heck, it's up to them. They're the ones they're the wrecks. Oh, my God.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
your
you.
son has won, and you and your son are off to Akron, Ohio for some great soapbox derby action.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, and your son is the winner of some great prizes, a trophy, some money, and I'm sure he's going to love the go-kart donated by Dr. Charles Sinatra.
It's great.
Ron, congratulations. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm just tickled pink. Just delighted.
All right, congratulations. Congratulations,
Thank
Ron. Adam holding the checkered flag that he so rightfully deserves. In a vintage Thunderbird. How can you go wrong with that? Adam, let me get a word with you. You are the overall winner of the second annual Jamestown Soapbox Derby. Reflect on that a little bit. How do you feel?
He's excited.
Oh, you look a little excited. I think your dad's more excited than you are. What's going to happen here, from here?
Well, I'm going to go to Akron, try and win there.
I want you to look around you right now. These people are here to congratulate you because you are the overall winner. Believe it or not, there were over 100 runs this afternoon, and you came out smelling like a rose. You are the one that everybody's looking at right now. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
Anything special you'd like to add about what you did to your car that made it so, that performed so well for you?
Well, I just had good luck.
From soapbox cars to vintage antiques we go. The annual Antique Car Show drew a large crowd of participants and spectators. Every model was restored to showroom condition by these ambitious collectors. Owners from across the country came to Jamestown to display their work and visit old friends. Youth Day at the Fenton Historical Society was held in early June. The report you are about to see will be placed in a time capsule to be opened 50 years from now. Felix Mira filed this report for those in the future.
Welcome to all of our viewers in the year 2036. We can only assume that you found a museum with examples of primitive television sets and what we used to call video cassette recorders. We apologize that the images you are about to see do not measure up to modern standards, whatever they may be in the year 2036. But rest assured that they were indeed recorded to the best of our ability in the year 1986. For those of you who are watching this tape for the second time, congratulations. And we would like to wish you many belated happy birthdays, 50 to be exact. Here is what we looked like 50 years ago when we celebrated Jamestown's 100th birthday. Hello and welcome to the Fenton Youth Day celebration, another one of the special events celebrating Jamestown's 100th birthday. As you can see behind me, everybody's having a great time. All the kids over here, right underneath Governor Rood in Fenton. We're here at his mansion. We have all kinds of events today, games in the old-fashioned tradition, and they're actually going to be burying a time capsule here today, which will be opened in 50 years. And as a matter of fact, we're going to put a copy of this show in there, and we'll be able to come back in 50 years and see what we all look like. During the day, our children, your parents and grandparents, had a chance to see what life was like in the year 1886. A chance to play old-fashioned games like their grandparents used to play.
Shark. Was it a shark? It was a shark. Okay.
Wash clothes the real old-fashioned way.
Here, you're doing a good job. You got to start a little faster than that. Do you want to try?
They were also able to sit down on the grass. Well, you still have grass, don't you? And make good old-fashioned, high in cholesterol, butter. And local artists were awarded for their efforts in designing t-shirts, buttons, and posters to commemorate the 100th birthday of the city of Jamestown. The awards were presented by Centennial Youth Chairman Celeste Bauer,
And the spirit that we carry on.
City Council President Lou Lombardo, and of course our Director of Parks and Recreation, and perhaps yours, Russ Dietrich.
As we celebrate our centennial, 100 years from the forming of this great community as a city.
The Centennial Youth Activities Committee ran three contests for the city of Jamestown's children. The first one was a picture poster contest on a theme, Happy Birthday Jamestown. The fourth graders participated in a Design a Centennial button contest, and the fifth graders through eighth graders participated in Design a Centennial t-shirt contest.
Area fourth graders were given the task of filling our Centennial time capsule. The items you are looking at now represent facts, fashions, and fads of our time. In addition to yearbooks and autographs, you will find the most popular doll of our time, the Cabbage Patch doll.
A yearbook and a Cabbage Patch doll. Okay.
You will also read clippings from our newspaper, the Post-Journal, covering one of the nation's worst tragedies, the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster.
Model and the articles on the Space Shuttle tragedy.
One of our children's biggest fads in 1986 was World Federation Wrestling, represented by a toy model of a wrestler named Junkyard Dog. Yes, believe it or not, people really look like that.
One of the fads of today.
Last but not least, we left you with a sample of our pop rock music.
This guy, I can't pronounce his name, but within 50 years from now, when they play this, well, if I'm alive, I'll hear this.
Yes, we all hope we are here with you as you open the time capsule and take a look back into 1986. But if by some chance we are not, Celeste Bauer and Russ Dietrich have a message for you.
To the person that's opening this time capsule and watching this tape 50 years from now, I hope I'm there standing beside you. But I also hope that the enthusiasm that we've had from the children and from the community in this event has carried through, and you're witnessing some of the results of that as they have grown to be adults.
I've been touched to have been part of this centennial planning program, realizing that part of the generation that have inherited to this city, and as we prepare this program, knowing that we are leaving it for generations yet unborn, has been a very moving experience. We hope that as you share what we have given to you on this day, you will look positive upon our actions.
We are proud to be celebrating Jamestown's 100th birthday, so as we cut into our special Centennial birthday cake, we extend our best wishes to Jamestown and her people as you celebrate her 150th birthday in the year 2036.
Teachers Association.
The event that drew easily the biggest crowd of the year was the Centennial Parade. Thousands turned out for the bands, clowns, marching units, and floats that filled 3rd Street from start to finish.
Not a normal part of their uniform gear, but a necessary entity today.
drawn a big crowd, but the most active one was at the 10,000 Maniacs concert, held at Jamestown Community College Stadium in late July. The 10,000 Maniacs group is originally from the Jamestown area, and it was appropriate that they headline one of the first rock concerts ever held at the stadium. SC93 Radio, co-sponsor of the event, knew it could get the younger crowd involved, and this concert certainly did the trick. From today's music to yesterday's music we go, and find ourselves at the Centennial Ball held at the Jamestown Holiday Inn. Community dignitaries and special guests danced the night away, and finally sat down to listen to the ball's extra special guest for the evening, political humorist Mark Russell. Mr. Russell performed at the Palace Civic Center earlier the same day and stopped at the ball to give the receptive crowd a few of his own particular viewpoints.
Nightmare the other. I dreamed that Cuomo was reelected as governor and Stan Lundeen was lieutenant governor, and in my nightmare, Cuomo gets to cut the ribbons and Lundeen makes the speeches. It was a frightening thing there. Well, it's a little limerick I wrote about it there. Lundeen's Cuomo's choice, and that's that. To be best second spot Democrat, Stanley was found when they narrowed it down and pulled his name out of a hat. And so, I appreciate your loyalty. So anyway, try and imagine what it must have been like right here where you live, what is now Jamestown, in your particular spot on the planet. What was it like centuries ago, at the dawn of time, right here? There was nothing but the land and the trees and Roger Torrey Peterson. And when Roger Torrey Peterson was a young boy, and he walked around his beloved city of Jamestown, and he said, and he meant this as a compliment, he said, Jamestown is for the birds. And I met him one time a few years ago, and I said, Roger Torrey Peterson, because that is the way he wants to be addressed. I said, Torrey, baby, I said, what do you think of the white-breasted nuthatch? And he said, with a béarnaise sauce, delicious. And so we know the history. We know where the hell I'm going to use this material after tonight, I don't know. But anyway.
Throughout the year, various other celebrations took place at different locations in the area. Schools took part in the Centennial in their own ways. Washington School held a Centennial Circle involving the entire student body, faculty and staff, holding hands throughout the building's hallways. As they sang along with the popular tune, "We Are the World," students were given a chance to reflect upon themselves and their heritage, with hopes that their own dreams would come true. Lincoln School held a lawn social, and students had fun playing games and eating their favorite foods while listening to 19th century music. Centennial Committee member Dorothy Brooks received an American flag for her lifelong dedication to students and their education. The Centennial Committee also sponsored contests for area elementary students and included designing a t-shirt and designing a lapel button. Winners were taken to City Hall chambers and presented their works to Mayor Steve Carlson and Jamestown City Council members.
Mayor Carlson, this is for you to wear during our Centennial celebration year.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Excellent. Just the right.
Extra small.
Let's see if it fits. Can I put it on over this? Hey. Breathe in deep. Hey, look at it. Hey.
That looks good.
After Mayor Carlson received his t-shirt, he returned to his office for more paperwork, only to be greeted by his secretary sporting a 12-inch long beard. It was all in good fun, recalling an era where facial hair of this type was commonplace. Well, maybe not on the women. In early August, the Centennial Committee at the Rotary Club of Jamestown sponsored the first ever Aviation Day and Air Show at Chautauqua County Airport. Young and old alike attended what organizers hoped to be an annual event, drawing over 3,000 spectators. Flyers from all over the region stopped in to watch and have breakfast, and to see what else was happening with their comrades. This Goodyear F6-1D Corsair flew in the Canadian Air Force. Experimental and new designs, even military carriers were available to the public for close-up inspection. More conventional units like helicopters still drew big crowds because of the fact that you just don't get a close-up look at one of these mechanical marvels every day. Rain was in the forecast and the sun managed to peek through the clouds occasionally, but that didn't scare these folks away. After visiting and riding the different planes on display, the best part of the day for most was the aerial acrobatics performed by several experienced flyers. And experienced you had better be. Community religious leaders also took an active role in this centennial by reminding their congregations of their past and future, like this interfaith benediction service held at Bethel Lutheran Church. A flower show entitled A Floral Salute was held at the Sheldon House and was presented by the Green Thumb Garden Club, Jamestown Cactus Club, Lakeside Garden Club, and Jamestown Garden Club. With assistance from Chautauqua County Cooperative Extension, ribbons and awards were given for different floral arrangements. You're watching the Nichols Brothers Band, one of the many musical entertainment acts at the Jamestown Labor Day Festival in Bergman Park, held Sunday, August 31st. There was no end to the fun and food available at the outdoor gala, and no end to the lines either. The function was so well attended, many vendors actually ran out of certain popular food items. Picture-perfect weather with temperatures in the 60s meant you could stay as long as you wanted without even getting wore out. Oh well. Steve Haglin, president of Supreme Beverages, was sponsor of the event, and he commented on the day's activities.
We have Greek Orthodox Church is here for the fundraiser, the Resource Center. The YMCA is running all the children's games, and we're paying them. That's their contribution because there's no charge for the games. There's a number of different groups, the Italian dancers. They're all here, and it's a chance for them to make some money for their various clubs and organizations. You know, the fireworks we're going to have, we had last year. It was the first time. They went over very well, so this year will be the second time for us having fireworks.
City Parks and Recreation Director Russ Dietrich describes some of the day's other events.
And along with the cuisine of our community, we have the food midway up there with just all kinds of food. And a lot of activities for the young people and games for the kids, and just a lot of fun and excitement. Rides with the horses and the wagons, and of course the model airplanes are flying overhead. Just a fun, exciting day here in sunny Bergman Park. Our idea and concept in the beginning was to make a program available on the Labor Day weekend where people could stay home if they choose, to stay off the highways and enjoy the park system, enjoy the fun. We have an outstanding park system in our community, and we wanted to share it with people on the Labor Day weekend. So it's grown out of that concept.
As Director of Parks and Recreation, you have to actually plan this from the very beginning. What's involved? The security, the amount of time, and getting the park ready?
There's a considerable amount of time that our people have to put in with changing the park usage from a softball, a very active athletic orientation, to picnic areas, to the bandstand, to the game areas for the kids. Just a lot of physical changes have to be made in the park, but it comes at the end of the softball season. And of course, there's a planning committee of 4 or 5, and they're augmented by several hundred people that work on the Labor Day Festival program. So my real heart involvement is really not there. Just the pleasure of working with these people and bring it together.
Mayor Carlson talked about the city's role behind the Labor Day Festival.
We basically decided as one of the goals of my administration to try and improve all of the city parks. Families could participate in all of our parks, and in order to do that, we had to make sure we had tot lot facilities, that we had proper, clean, decent, sanitary restroom facilities, that we had picnic pavilions, so that the parks had those kinds of family-oriented activities and facilities, as well as all of the activities for organized sports groups, which of course our parks are noted for. And so in the last few years we've been investing substantial amounts of money to improve each one of our city parks by doing those very things, building restroom facilities, building picnic pavilions, building new tot lot facilities and the like. And the idea behind the Labor Day Festival was several-fold. One was to try and encourage people on Labor Day weekend to stay home, stay off the highways, to have a safe and fun-filled, family-oriented holiday, and also to introduce people to our city park system, and specifically, of course, here to the Bergman Park facility.
Souvenirs commemorating the Centennial were available at the Labor Day Festival and at other events throughout the year. They include a City of Jamestown trivia game created by local residents, pictures, balloons, lapel pins, bumper stickers, the History of Jamestown souvenir book, even glassware, including coffee mugs, baseball caps, and t-shirts, perfect for remembering the Centennial for years to come. What better way to cap off a perfect day? Why, a fireworks display, of course. Here's a few. As we come to the end of our program on the 100th birthday celebration of the City of Jamestown, we would like to thank the city. Not its buildings or its landscape, but its people. Because the residents are the city. One of thousands in America, but still very special. Happy birthday, Jamestown.
God bless us.